So I'm going to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, B'Shem Yahshua, B'Shok HaKadosh, and double honors to the apostles of GMS Aruel, so on to the faithful men that's continually doing the work of the Lord. Now, Lord willing, I just want to speak briefly on the mighty power of the chariots of the Lord, of Yahweh, B'Shem Yahshua, because that is the glory of the Lord, and that's his might, that's his strength, and that's how he's going to defend us, Israelites, chiefly right now, or only right now, the elect. You know what I'm saying? That's how he's going to be delivered, and that's also how he's going to bring forth judgment. All right? You know what I'm saying? That's how angels travel. They're not aliens, so-called aliens. You know what I'm saying? They are angels, doing the work of the Lord. All right, but this is Habakkuk 3. And I'm going to start at 8. It says, was Yahweh displeased against the rivers? Was thine anger against the rivers? Was thy wrath against the sea? Right, so that's why I love Habakkuk. I always say that. I love Habakkuk chapter 3 because it shows how much destruction, how large of a scale the destruction is about to be. He's like, damn, you mad at the rivers? There's going to be so much death and explosions, nuclear missiles and chariot fire, man. A nuclear missile is already powerful itself, but imagine a chariot, man. You know what I'm saying? How you doing? But yeah, man, it's gonna be so powerful, man, that even the water's gonna dry up. The rivers and certain rivers and stuff like that gonna dry up, and man, it's gonna be horrifying, man, really. You know what I'm saying? It says, what is that, grande? I think that's how you said in Spanish. It's gonna be it's gonna be large, man. It's gonna be crazy, man. It says that thou didst ride upon thy horses and thy chariots of salvation. Right, those chariots of salvation. Because like I said, the chariots, the so-called UFOs, they do multiple jobs. One, the scripture says the eyes of the Lord is upon the wicked. The eyes of the Lord upon the sinful kingdom. How? Because of the chariots. The angels always watching. They taking Esau, he got his technology where AI and cameras all over the goddamn place, man. But Most High, he got his cameras all over the place. You know what I'm saying? He sees everything. Nothing is hid from him. You know what I'm saying? Also, the chariots of salvation, they're saved. You know what I'm saying? There's times in the ancient world where we had chariots come and defend us and certain battles, and you know what I'm saying? And also it's gonna beam us up. Ultimately, it's gonna beam us up. Lord willing, I'm part of that number. Gonna beam us up, and we're gonna be delivered. You see? It says, we go to 13 or 12. It says, thou didst march through the land of indignation, which indignation is righteous anger. Because look at this world, man. I'm just seeing a trainee dude, whatever the hell that thing is, man. A man with some weave in his head and a beard, man. With some women clothing on, man. It's disgusting. But what the scripture says, the Lord is angry at the wicked every day. And I see why. It says, thou didst thrust the heathen in anger. It says, thou wentest forth for the salvation of thy people. So when the Lord returns, it's only going to be for his people. The Lord ain't coming back to save every goddamn body. And everybody's not the Lord's people, man. He ain't going to just believe and then you automatically the son of God. No, the only ones that do believe is the sons of God. All right? And the daughters of Yahweh, they're very few number. It says, even for salvation with thine anointed, right? So Yahweh Shai, man, he gonna lead the charge. He gonna send Yahweh Shai and the rest of the angels. You see, it says thou didst wound the head of the house of the wicked by discovering the foundation unto the neck. Salah. Right? Now let me prove that real quick. Let me prove that real quick. This is Mark 13 and 25. It says, in the stars of heaven. No, wait, hold on. 26, Salaki. And then shall they see the Son of Man, which is Yahushua, all right, coming in the clouds with great power and glory. And this shows you that false doctrine of Jesus, because what that scripture says in Corinthians, they preach another Yahushua. You know, this can't be Jesus, bro. Jesus ain't gonna come back and do this, man. They paint the image like Jesus is just all loving and sweethearted, and you would never hurt a fly. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man, Yahushua, all right, so-called black man from the tribe of Judah, right, which is today the Negroes. He coming back with vengeance. He gonna come back to destroy, man. Also to save, but it's gonna be way more people are gonna be destroyed than saved. Way more people. You know what I'm saying? If the scripture says the day of vengeance is in my heart, Jesus couldn't think about this, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why, man, we don't even say Jesus. We don't say Christ, none of that. Shahal Mashiach. When you say Jesus or you say Christ, you think of that little sweet baby Jesus, man. Sweet baby Jeebus, you know, with the blue eyes and shit, man. But when you say Yahushua, you know, you think of what? The so-called black man. You know, you think of the real Yahushua. But it says, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with great power and glory. Those clouds are those chariots once again. All right. And man, I remember, bro, I made a video on it. I guess you can see it a little bit. It was at nighttime. But that was the most chariots I've seen in my life, man. It was chariots coming out of one chariot, man. It was hella chariots. I don't know how many it was. It was probably like 20, 30, maybe. I don't know. But it was chariots cut, and that's the spirit too. Because I had a dream. I made a video about that too, long time ago, man. Not a long time ago, so like just a few years ago. That I remember it was the night after, or maybe the night of, that I rewatched what's that movie? The Matrix, the third one. When all those little robot motherfuckers was found at the Zion place, and it was like hundreds, thousands of them and shit. That's how it looked. You know, it was a chariot, like a triangle shape, and then it opened up, and man, thousands of chariots came out of that one chariot. You know what I'm saying? It was me, the ex-head, and the brother. You know what I'm saying? Tazwan. You know what I'm saying? We was walking towards him, and we was walking across his field. It was at night, and I seen that and opened it up, and then two giant angels came out, man. The best way I could describe the height, it was like the movie Transformers. You know what I'm saying? You see how tall they is compared to humans. That's how tall they was. And they was walking, and then one on my right hand side, I could see his face. He was dark as hell, man. Black. Kadar, for real, man. Dark, very Ma'ad Kadar, you know, like that brother, very dark. You know what I'm saying? And the brother on the left hand side, or on my left, he had a helmet on. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't see his face. But the one on the right, you know, they was walking towards us, man, and the closer they would get, man, I was getting scared, bro. I was just, the closer they was getting, the lower I would get. You know, I didn't mean to bow down, you know, but it's just, I just automatically do it. You know what I'm saying? Because that great power and glory, and it was fear, man. Because the angels ain't all with the blue-eyed, blonde hair. That's shit leprosy, man. You know, half naked, little baby, little cupid. That's a cubit, man. That's a fucking false god, man. What is that from, like, Roman god or Greek god, whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? See, they trying to mix the paganism with the truth. But nah, the angels are mighty as hell, bro. They're mighty warriors. Alright? It says, yeah, man, even in that dream, bro, Cause then when I woke up from the dream, you know what I'm saying? I remember I thought in my head, man, can't wait till the morning. I'll make a video. But then, well, first I felt fear. I felt like somebody was in the room. You know, I believe it's, you know, the angel. I probably just felt his presence a little bit. But I feel, you know how you feel that presence. You feel like a spirit about to fucking appear or some shit. Like somebody watching you and shit, man. That's what I felt. I felt that, like, oh shit, I'm nervous and shit. You know? And then, yeah, man, I'm just laying there, bro. And then tears just start coming down, bro. I didn't even feel like, you know how you feel like you about to cry? Like, nah, that shit just came out. My face all warm and shit, man. You know? And that's just off a dream. That's just off a dream, bro. So how much more and being in the actual presence of an angel, man. So it's gonna be thousands upon thousands, probably millions of chariots, man. So that presence alone is gonna be too much for these people. That's why the scripture says man's heart's failing them. You know, every eye shall see him, and the people's gonna mourn. You know what I'm saying? These people are gonna be fucking terrified, man. It said that the knees gonna become like water, man. These people they're gonna be shaking so goddamn much, man. Just like an anime, you know, the anime, they so fucking distraught and scared and shit. They just kind of their legs just folded. They fold and shit, and they just go to their knees, man. These people some people catch heart attacks, man. All right, their face gonna turn pale. You know? And them angels are mighty, man. We're gonna see, man. We're gonna see. And then on top of that, the most mightiest angel, which is who? Yahushua. You know? Because all angels bow down to him and worship him under the command of Yahweh. Alright, even Satan himself, man. The big bad Satan, you know? But and then shall he send his angels and shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from the uttermost part of the earth to the uttermost part of heaven. Right, man? So then while the Lord doing all that and destroying and you know, he's also going to be saving. You know? But let me get this real quick. Psalm 66. It's one of my favorites. I claim, God damn. But and one, make a joyful noise unto the Most High, all ye lands. Sing forth the honor of his name, make his praise glorious. Man, when we see his glory, man, I can't wait, bro. Lord willing. Say unto the Most High, how terrible art thou in thy works. Through the greatness of thy power shall thine enemies submit themselves unto thee. Right. So the Lord, he's terrible in his works, man. This ain't, like I said, this ain't sweet baby Jesus and shit, bro. You gotta think about it. This is the Most High, the one that flooded the earth. And he ain't feel not one bad about it. He ain't feeling bad about it. You know? Oh man, damn man. No. He said for their sake came the flood. You people fucking deserve it. And now, not only he bringing the flood, he's also gonna bring the fire. You know what I'm saying? You see? It says, through the greatness of thy power shall thine enemies submit themselves unto thee. Yeah, man. Because what the scripture says in Habakkuk 3, he says he shall invade them with his troops. The Lord is about to invade this place, man. Let me look at that word up, man. The Lord is about to invade this place with his troops, with those chariots, man. Talking about General Yohana, man. The ultimate general is about to return, man. Yahushua. Alright, 5-star general. Hey, like I learned that from the brother, man, Kwame Waf. You know, he said what was that? George Washington. You know what I'm saying? And nobody came, they ended that rank. If I'm not mistaken, if I'm saying it right. Nobody else can be a 5-star general, just like Yahushua. He's, you know, nobody else can have his rank. But the scripture says nobody else, he have a name nobody known, what goes into rank. You know, nobody's gonna be able to get that rank again. You see? but it's the word invade, enter into a hostile manner. Huh. You know? And we in battle right now. We in war. This is already hostile. And it's about to get even more hostile. You know? World War III, the persecution against the church, ultimately, to go, come, or get into, enter violently. Penetrate into as an enemy. You know? As sail, look that word, make a consecrated or violent attack on. Alright, assault, make an attack on, go walk. Alright. So, matter of fact, let me get that since I quoted it. This is Habakkuk 3:16. It says, 15. Thou didst walk through the sea with thine horses, through the heap of great waters, which is, again, those chariots, man. He gonna come out from the heavens, man, because the waters is up there, all right? Not from under the sea and shit. You know what I'm saying? It says, when I heard, my belly trembled. And see, that's why what Ezra, he said the same thing. Woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. Who shall deliver me in that time? This ain't gonna be a light, or we say the day of darkness, day of gloominess, man. This ain't gonna be a fun time. Even for us, man, it's gonna be fearful. All right, it says that when the elect, was that Revelation 11? When the elect get saved, it says that the remnant was a frightened. We all gonna be afraid of the Lord's glory and His might. You see. But we just gonna have some hope too. We're gonna believe the Lord gonna be deliver us. It says, when I heard, my belly trembled, my lips quivered at the voice. Rottenness entered into my bones, and I trembled in myself, that I might rest in the day of trouble. When He cometh up unto the people, He will invade them with His troops. You see? So that's what the Lord's gonna do, man. He gonna come violently. You know, like I always say, he ain't gonna come with a peace treaty and blah. Please, can we agree to disagree and love and happiness? No, He gonna fucking. He says through His power, these people gonna submit themselves, man. He gonna make many people. He gonna be killing a lot of motherfuckers, man. And righteousness. All right. Claim. All right. Motherfuckers gonna be put in chains. All right. Yeah, man. That's what's gonna happen. All right. So one last one. Gotta get the classic. Revelation 19:11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. He that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. That's Yahushua, you know, in his chariot. It says, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war, you know, in righteousness. So all this judgment is about to happen is going to be righteous. You know what I'm saying? His eyes were a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but himself, right? Because he's going to take over many kingdoms, all the kingdoms. Right? And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of the Most High. So it shows you just talking about Yahushua, because John 1:1. All right? And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, and clothed in white linen, fine linen, white and clean. Right? So those are talking about them angels too, as well. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he shall smite the nations. See? Invade, which we looked at the word invade, which means to come in violently, man. Alright? And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. He treadeth the winepress of the fierceness of the wrath of the Almighty Most High. Alright? Because what the scripture says, matter of fact, one more. Psalms 45:4 or 3. It says, gird thy sword upon thy thigh, O most mighty, with thy glory and thy majesty. Talking about Yahushua. It says, in thy majesty ride prosperously because of truth and meekness and righteousness. And thy right hand shall teach thee terrible things. Thine arrows are sharp in the heart of the king's enemies, whereby the people fall under thee. Right. See, look, hey man, the Lord coming back to put in some work, man. You know, destroying. You know, but at the same time building, because He gonna deliver the elect. All right. So yeah, man, that's pretty much the point. Hopefully, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'm gonna give our praise and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem Kakadash, bounce to the Apostle J. Ruel. Shalom to the brothers in this work. Time to say shalom.